Indonesian football is special. It's one of the nation's most popular sport. There are many talented players and good teams in Indonesia. Yet, it is also known that Indonesian football is full of drama. From cancelling World Cup, UFC matches at the pitch, and the pitch itself varies in condition. In today's video, I'll be talking about two clubs that attract the attention from Indonesian football fans, Garudayaksa and Adhyaksa FC. If you've never heard of them before, that's because they are very new clubs within Indonesian football. So, let's go with the brief history of both clubs since both will be playing at the first division after getting promoted.
Înțelege fiecare ce vrea din această problemă, da?
Garudayaksa Football Club is a newly formed football club formed in June 2025. However, the Garudayaksa organization itself is way older, founded in 2023 as a football academy in Setu, West Java, and owner of this football club is Prabowo. He is an outspoken football fan and a very nationalistic guy. He spoke about his dream about seeing Indonesian football to grow and one day play at the World Cup. He is that committed to realizing that dream that he refused to watch a World Cup game together with his mates because Indonesia was not participating in the tournament.
Saudara-saudara, maaf. Saya ini pencinta sepak bola, tapi saya nggak sampai hati. Saya tidak mau nonton World Cup. Di TV pun saya tidak mau nonton. Kenapa? Indonesia tidak main.
In June 2022, he spoke about forming a football club once he presumably retires from politics. He will name the club Nusantara United as a way to realize his World Cup dream.
Saya kalau pensiun jadi Menteri Pertahanan, mungkin cita-cita saya ingin mendirikan klub sepak bola. Namanya sudah ada. Nusantara United.
However, issues rose as it turns out there's already an existing club with that name. And at least for now, the football club plans are put into the shelf. But at the end of June, Prabowo met the Secretary General of the Indonesian FA to discuss a youth tournament he planned to host, called the Nusantara Open. There will be 16 teams participating on this tournament, including some sides from Super League clubs. The best talents will receive a scholarship from his newly found football academy, Yayasan Akademi Nusantara Bersatu, and will be flown out to Qatar to train at Aspire Academy. It was a success, and Prabowo received praise from the Menpora for this tournament. Doubling down on youth development, he opened a football academy called Garudayaksa Football Academy in December 2023. It has a state-of-the-art gym, 7 football fields with different sizes, and 16 times the detail. Even Erick Thohir, the head of the Indonesian FA, even attended the opening and gave praises to it. And furthermore, it will host the 2023 edition of Nusantara Open. He also did actually live by his word and send the kids into Qatar. Thus, for 2 years, it went that way. They focused on developing youth talent and hosting youth tournaments in Indonesia. Until one day on June 2025, announcement. Garudayaksa acquires second division club PSKC Cimahi and will change its name, identity, and home base. Basically, they're gonna change everything. And so from now on, they changed their name to Garudayaksa FC and will play at Pakansari Stadium in Bogor. The Vice Mayor of Cimahi, Aditya Yudhistira, expressed that he's disappointed to hear this news and the sudden surprise of it. But unfortunately, they could not intervene, and thus, Cimahi is no more. As Garudayaksa acquired Cimahi, in the background, there's Adhyaksa FC waiting. Founded in 2020 as Farmel FC, originally Farmel FC is also a football youth academy like Garudayaksa with the name FIFA Farmel. Starting at the 3rd division, the founder of this club is Eko Setiawan, who also runs a water treatment company called Farmel Cipta Mandiri, hence the name. Someone's knocking. It's the Public Prosecution Service, and they want a partnership. So in that season, they renamed themselves into Adhyaksa Farmel FC. In the 2023-24 season, they got promoted for the first time to the 2nd division after winning the league title against Persibo Bojonegoro in the final. And In their first season ever in the second division, they renamed themselves to Adhyaksa Banten FC as the Public Prosecution Service became the sole owners, but Eko Setiawan is still the CEO and manages the club. In that season, they finished 4th, missing the championship group spot and have to play in the relegation group where they finished 1st and thus remain in the second division for the upcoming 2025-26 season. Before I move on, I want to note that this club has a controversial past during their time as Farmel FC. People keep calling Farmel FC a mafia club because they keep receiving favorable refereeing decisions or referee mistakes that happen to benefit Farmel FC most of the times, and other instances as well. Most popular cases are from the 2021-2022 game against Bandung United, where we saw 4 Bandung United players sent off for unknown reasons and which Farmel won 3-0, where Bandung United players just let them score the 3rd goal and gave them sarcastic applauses. Another game was against NSR Sumbersari, where a highlight video of the match shows the referee ignoring fouls committed by the Farmel players, which went ignored. The players then confronted the referee post-match, which became a riot by itself. 2 games against Persikota Tangerang were interesting by itself. In the 2021-22 game, Persikota protested over the dubious referee decisions and numerous fights, and a riot broke out during the match. The game was later suspended, and while Farmel returned to the pitch, Persikota didn't, finishing the game 3-0, which led to Persikota receiving a nasty 10 million rupiah fine and deduction points. In the 2023-24 season, they met again in the group and they just passed the ball to each other, resulting in a 0-0 draw, which is actually shown live in the Indonesian FA YouTube page. This result ensured both teams qualified to the next stage of the competition, eliminating Bantul from the group. However, allegations soon rose that Eko Setiawan owns 3 clubs in the same division, including Persikota Tangerang and Persiba Bojonegoro. The Indonesian press obviously caught wind of this and started making articles of this topic. He addresses the claims by stating that he is not the CEO of those clubs, but instead only as an advisor and a sponsor to those teams, and he only owns 1 club, which is Adhyaksa Farmel FC. Now, it can be debated whether he owns 3 clubs or not. However, it is clear that he has some influence over these 3 clubs, which he himself confirms. And furthermore, in a 2022 interview, he also answers the mafia allegations by answering that he denies any involvement in bribery or match fixing, and added to the fact that he doesn't know anybody within the football association. Despite this, in the very next year, he got elected as the executive committee in the Indonesian FA. He is now one of the cool kids.
All the other try to pass me, but here's my number. They call me Chesney.
Both teams were drawn in the Western Group. Therefore, we have the privilege to see both teams face each other 3 times in this season. But first, it's transfer window time.
Who the fuck is Dixon Boner?
And both teams went on a shopping spree and recruited a lot of players, all of which on a free transfer. Garudayaksa recruited 23 new players, with their most valuable players being Songwoo Ryu and Everton by market value. But they have to release 26 players, with Hannibal Tolib as their most valuable player leaving by market value. Similarly, Adhyaksa FC recruited 60 new players, with Adilson Silva and Christia Bagaskara as their most valuable players, but had to let go 90 new players, also with Alex de Andrej and Ivan Maric leaving the club. With out of the way, we began the season. Both teams opened their campaign with a win, but Garudayaksa have better form as they picked up 6 wins out of 8, where they remained undefeated before Sumsel United beat them at matchday 9. Adhyaksa also had a good start to the season, including a 7-3 win against Pekanbaru. Despite that, they drew more matches than Garudayaksa. As it stands, Garudayaksa leads the table in first, while Adhyaksa is trailing behind in second. Through matchday 10 to 18, Garudayaksa defeated Sriwijaya FC with a massive 7-2 win. However, it is clear that their form started to drop as they drew more games, including a 2-3 loss to Adhyaksa on their second match, which Adhyaksa is right now catching up, including a 15-0 win against Sriwijaya FC. On matchday 18, the tables remained the same as both with Garudayaksa in first and Adhyaksa in second. It was not long until matchday 21, Adhyaksa took the lead after a 2-1 win against Prosecutors, while Garudayaksa drew theirs in a 0-0 draw. Thus, Adhyaksa are now first with a 2-point lead over Garudayaksa. If they manage to maintain their position in the next 6 games, they will be automatically promoted to the Super League. For Garudayaksa, they must win games and remain undefeated in order to catch up, or they have to settle for a promotion playoff spot, which promotion isn't guaranteed. Both teams understood the idea and maintained an impressive run of form. They met in matchday 23 in a crucial moment of the season, but it ended in a 0-0 draw. It was until the last 3 games of the season that shocking things happened, as Adhyaksa lost their game to FC Bekasi City. Unfortunately, Garudayaksa dropped points as well with a draw against Persiraja. Meaning, as of matchday 25, the gap has reduced to a single point. Adhyaksa must win their final 2 games from now on to secure automatic promotion. However, they drew their next game, and Garudayaksa managed to overtake them on a 3-0 win against Sriwijaya in the penultimate game, leading the table with a single point. Matchday 27, the last game of the regular season. Garudayaksa needs to win this final game to guarantee automatic promotion. For Adhyaksa, they must win their game against Sriwijaya FC and hope Garudayaksa either drew or lose the game against Persicad. Fairly early in the game, Deko Saki of Garudayaksa scored in the 4th minute from a rebound. It's 1-0. The situation is looking bad for Adhyaksa. However, in the 19th minute, Rosalvo from Persicad scored a header that equalized the game 1-1. Meanwhile, in the other game, a breakthrough occurred as Rafli Arianto scored a tap-in assist by centre-back Arif Satria. As it stands, Adhyaksa is first on the table. But then the drama began to die down as Garudayaksa scored another goal in the 30th minute and another in the 58th minute. The game ended 3-1 and Adhyaksa won their game against Sriwijaya 4-0, but it isn't enough. Thus, Garudayaksa are automatically promoted to the Super League with 52 points, while Adhyaksa has to settle for second, playing a promotion playoff match against Persipura Jayapura for the final promotion spot. Fortunately, Persipura were kind of poor in that match,
Feliz com a escolha dela.
and Adhyaksa won the game 1-0. Of course, a riot broke out as usual.
Kacau, kacau, kacau. Masyarakat bakar depan ini.
Ada rujak ya? Rujak?
Tuan. Rujak 10.000.
Makan baru kacau.
Di tengah-tengah.
The news went viral, notably because the fact that a football club that is 10 months old is now getting promoted into the Super League. Furthermore, the information that this club is owned by the president and another club which is owned by the prosecution office really garners attention from Indonesian football fans, and they mostly hated it, especially since clubs that are ran by political figures or government affiliated have a negative sentiment here. Examples such as Bayangkara FC, which is owned by the Indonesian police that won the Super League title in 2017. By the way, there is this funny video of their league parade where there's just no fans at all on the street. Most comments under social media posts that mentions them were mostly negative, and most people are making fun of it. Speaking of which, people began to ask whether these clubs actually have supporters or not, which is fair enough, because Garudayaksa has one of the lowest average attendances in the league and scored the lowest attended game this season. Although Adhyaksa has a better situation, being the 11th most watched team in the league. To beat these allegations, videos started to show up about Garudayaksa supporters. This video also shows up.
Kami, para Garudayaksa, Klaster Jonggol, mendukung penuh.
Of course, people made fun of this, especially in the comments. Football fans also labeled them as ghost clubs, accusing both Garudayaksa and Adhyaksa of being one. This term refers to clubs that suddenly appeared out of nowhere and yet competing in the top level. This also applies to clubs that are recently acquired, then they change their club's identity as a whole and move into a different place. Think of it like the MK Don situation. So in that case, Adhyaksa could not be really termed as such because they start on lower tier football, especially in the 3rd division. But they did change their identity and move their home base. But most people are still unhappy that this club is owned by the government itself. But for the case of Garudayaksa, it does certainly fit the bill. They appear out of nowhere, they took over a club, changed their identity, and didn't start at the lower leagues of football. In short, people were not happy that this means more government-affiliated clubs will join the 1st division. So apparently when I'm editing this video, there's some new things that happened. Garudayaksa won the league title after defeating PSS Sleman on penalties. So Garudayaksa became the league champions, and Adhyaksa is looking to move again, I think this time to Maluku, which, I think it's kind of weird. So yeah, that's the update. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. I think after this I'm gonna do some gaming content for now, and yeah, if you like these video essays, comment down below, and forgive me if I misinformed or something, or if I got the research wrong, so comment down below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. See you guys.